This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets, which is a study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading my book's commentary on today's lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some further thoughts on the lesson, which are only included in this YouTube edition of my book. Today's lesson is part of a 10-lesson group that runs from lesson 301 through lesson 310, each of which relates to the second coming as understood in the course. I'll be repeating this same introduction for each of lessons 301 through 310, so you can skip past this introduction in the future if you like. Timestamps taking you directly to today's Workbook Nuggets commentary and my further comments are provided in the description below. In the course, the second coming does not refer to the bodily return of Jesus. Rather, it is each and every one of us, all of humanity, finally remembering who and what we are in truth. It is all of us remembering that together we are the sonship, the one self we all share, the Christ. In the words of the introduction, which precedes these 10 lessons, the second coming is, quote, merely the correction of mistakes and the return of sanity. It is a part of the condition that restores the never lost and reestablishes what is forever and forever true, end quote. In other words, it is our collective realization that the separation from God never occurred and that we remain as God created us, as his one spiritual child in heaven. Today's lesson from my book and my further thoughts, which are only contained in this YouTube edition of the book, follow. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 305, November 1st. There is a peace that Christ bestows on us. The peace that we are seeking is not of this world. As the title of the lesson states, it is, quotes, a peace that Christ bestows on us, end quotes. There are various degrees of peace and security which we can attain in the world. It is clear that none of those worldly shields are perfect or eternal. Only the peace of God is. And the peace of God is a gift which has already been given to you. Quote, help us today but to accept your gift and judge it not, end quote. The title of today's lesson is, There is a peace that Christ bestows on us. I'm not sure why it is so difficult for us to accept the peace of God. I think it has something to do with the false perception that we would somehow be giving up ourselves, that we would somehow lose the thing that we have always thought of as us. But we don't disappear into a thoughtless mass. We grow into an infinitely more beautiful and eternal consciousness. Yes, our consciousness will be changed, but it is not the loss or death we are so fearful of. To the contrary, it is the birth into eternal peace, a peace that our Christ consciousness bestows on us.